Welcome. This should be a quick review of how to find the area and circumference of a circle. I recommend you write down these two formulas, and I recommend you try to remember to find the circumference by doubling pi times the radius. A lot of students learn it to be pi times the diameter, which if that's better for you, remember that, because a lot of times students will get pi r squared mixed up with 2 pi r. Circumference is doubling pi times the radius, where area is the radius squared, which you have to do the radius squared first and then times by pi. Also note, they want you to use 3.14 for pi. Do not use the pi button on your calculators, otherwise the rounding will be off. So all I need to do to find the circumference is I need to take the radius, times it by 3.14, and then double it. Or take the diameter, which is 2, times it by 3.14, and get 6.28. So again, do not use the pi button for this lesson. Just use 3.14 or do what the IXL program asks you. Again, remember, for circumference, you double the radius or take the diameter and times it by pi. Or you can times pi by the radius and then double it. Either works. For the area, we want to make sure we take the radius. They gave us the diameter here, so we're going to take half the diameter, which is 1, and we're going to multiply 1 by itself because we square 1, and I'm just going to do that, and then I times it by pi, which is 3.14. Luckily, 1 squared is 1, and 1 times pi is 3.14. So again, oh, what did I do? The diameter, what is this? Oh, it was asking for circumference. Oh, by the way, the most important thing about doing any math problem is reading the instructions. This asked for the circumference, and I jumped and gave the area. For some reason, I thought they were trying to be tricky and give us the diameter when they were asking for area, but they were asking for circumference. So, word of advice, read the instructions. Don't make the same mistakes I do. I made the mistake. You shouldn't have to now. So I got it. Now I'm going to read the instructions carefully. This one's asking for area. So now I'm going to take that radius. I'm going to square the radius, and then I'm going to times by 3.14. So 4 squared is 16. Again, I'm going to use a calculator. 16 times 3.14 is 50.24. So I type in 50.24. And I think that's really enough to do all this lesson. They probably will get to somewhere you're going the other direction, where they'll probably give you the area, and they want you to find the circumference or the circumference, and they want you to find the radius. So again, you're working backwards. So just remember, since they gave us the circumference, what I'm going to do is divide this by 2, because we had a double, and then divide it by 3.14. So I take the 18.84. I like to divide by 2 first, then I divide by 3.14. And again, I'm just using the calculator, and I find out that the radius is 3. So working backwards, just be careful as you do that. Working backwards, you shouldn't have any problems. When you get up to the higher ones, you'll get to word problems. If it helps, write out a diagram. Write your circle. It says the radius is 3, and it wants this circle's circumference. So obviously I double 3 to get 9. That's not doubling. Doubling 3 to get 6. And then I take 6 and I times it by 3.14. Or I could times 3 by 3.14 and then double it. Doesn't matter when you double it. 3.14 times, and I get 18.84. Again, I think you guys can do this fairly simply. I'm not going to do any more. If you come to any that you do have questions on, again, this one gives me the area of a circle. Oh, let's do this one. You will need a calculator for this one. The area of a circle is 2.54.3 feet. What is the circle's diameter? So now be very careful. This takes 2 steps in the sense of we first going to find the radius, but it asks for diameter. I'm reading the instructions very carefully. So to find the radius first, if it gives me the area, I'm first going to divide 2.54, not 2.54, 254.34. I'm going to divide that by pi first. Divide that by pi, or 3.14. So that's 254.34 divided by 3.14 gives me, of all things, 81. Now I need to square root the 81 because I always squared the radius. Remember, area is pi r squared. So to undo a square, I square root. When I square root 81, I get 9. But now don't stop there. 9 is just the radius. It asks for diameter. So I'm going to double the 9 and put in 18. So just read very carefully and work backwards if it gives you the one thing, and you will do just fine. Again, bring your questions to class, and I will help you then.